Back again, huh? Yeah, me too. All right, let's get it rolling. So, work that's been done since the last time. Catch you all up. I've got all the roll pins put in all of the forks and dogs, and it's all permanent in here. Along with that, I finished the stitching on this other side. We've got our access hole rounded back out for that roll pin, and everything else here is ready to assemble into that top cover for the final time. So the goal of today's episode is to finally seal this rearmost compartment up, top, bottom sides, just finally be done from here to here. Okay, everybody, first order of business, the O-ring that needs to go in that groove, in that hole right there, seals that plunger rod to the outside. All you're going to see is my hands in like that, so we'll just get it done quick and flip back. Just like that. Yeah, we can't see it, but we got it. It's in there, trust me. So, next piece is the plunger rod. Good fit on the O-ring too, nice drag. Should seal well. Gate and actuator now. And we should all be well familiar with these pieces by this point. Roll pin in for the actuator. See right there, we just flush it with each side. Yep, very good. Now the new shifter we made goes in, just drops in from the top, and our access hole we saved in the side, perfect alignment for that roll pin. All right, roll pin in, and good fit down there. I am going to back it up, like, say, with a piece of heavy, really heavy gauge wire, or a kind of a small diameter steel rod. I think I'm also going to push through the center of that roll pin, then I'll cut it to length, and I'll bend like one end down and one end up, just something for like an extra kind of like a safety wire kind of deal, because there's so much pivoting that goes on down towards the bottom of this. There we go. See, we got the way everything has to just move and turn on each other. That is going to loosen up over time. So I think it's going to be a good idea to have just an additional backup in there, just in case that roll pin maybe eventually starts to drift side to side. We'll have something that can still catch it. That should work just fine. Okay, I want to show you all how well this mechanism works now. Excellent neutral sweep, and look at this. No rattle at all in the shift lever. Putting that roll pin in the bottom eliminated the last of the play that I had that was being created by this temporary bolt I had in there last time. And I did have to do a little bit of custom fitting because I had a series of 5/16 holes that I drilled through both legs of the fork and through the bottom of the lever. I reamed the opening in the bottom of the lever just a little bit so that it was a looser fit on that roll pin. We needed that so that we could get that smooth pivot. We didn't want all three to be equally as tight on the pin. It would have tried to bind itself up. And it provides just the perfect amount of resistance to have just a good feel about the shifter. Nice and smooth, and remember, we don't have the added benefit of that assist spring in here like the production tractors did. And with a fit like that, I don't think we need it. Now granted, the more this is shifted after it gets put into operation, the looser that will get. One also has to realize this tractor's probably only going to have to drive about 8 miles the whole rest of its life anyway. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And as long as we're on the topic of that spring, quite a few people in the comments have asked if I could just take the production spring out and throw it in that prototype top cover, and the answer is no, because we needed the 2 holes at the base, one right there, to locate the legs on the bottom. And these abutments were also cast into the sidewall to provide support to that spring so that it could exert tension upon the shift lever up at the top. So without those features to locate it and support it, I could put one in here, but it would just rattle around loose and wouldn't do anything at all. So whether or not they torched features out there and there, at this point, the world will never know, but no indication of any spring ever having been in here. And chances are pretty good that being an unrefined prototype, it never had a spring. That was likely an upgrade that they did just before they hit production. All right, next up is our prototype vent tube that's oddly located right in the center of this cover. I've already put some sealer on the threads in there. And I can't imagine that this thing is not good at snagging bootlaces when you're transitioning on and off of the tractor. It just seems like it'd be in the perfect spot to do that. That looks good. And we'll put that shifter knob on once more. I think I'm just going to leave it hand tight for now. I might Loctite it when it's on there for good, but I like the thought of being able just to spin it off to do the painting. So we'll just keep it easily removable for now. So how about we finally bolt this up? I know I'm ready. I've been carefully guiding it down to get those detent springs all compressed at the front, but you all ought to know by now I'm very sensitive about using manufacturer specific fasteners, and these Minneapolis-Molines, at least this era, even this 445 prototype, was good for using these Rockford brand bolts, and it's a grade 5 marking on the head and it just says Rockford on there. So my goal is to have all correct fasteners on this tractor. And I believe you can still source these new and they still look pretty much the same, so that's a bonus as well. And as usual, we prove it out. Especially being the prototype, you can never take anything for granted. So good neutral, first gear, nice. Those detents are crisp. Fifth, yep. Back to neutral, second, yep. Third, yep. Back to neutral, fourth. Back to neutral and reverse. Good. That is as tight, I think, as I have ever felt one of these type shifters. And being the prototype that has the unrefined version, that's a crisper feel than most 445s I've been around. So pretty happy with it. I think we're done with that part. So to completely seal up this back compartment, we've got this rectangular opening down on the bottom. You can see it's a 5-bolt flange. Transmission gear's up in there. The cover for it only uses 4 of the 5. And you can see we've had some material scalloped out right there and some heavy witness marks right there. I believe that was just a little modification they did at the factory. It's very prototype. It's just a piece of 1/4-inch flat steel that they turned into a cover. Now the production 445s have that same opening down there on the bottom, and I don't know what it's for. So if someone watching this knows more about these tractors than I, feel free to post up what that's for. It looks like it could be an attachment point for a belly mounted power takeoff, but that's just me speculating. So here's the difference though between the prototype cover and opening footprint, of course, and the production one. You can see they went out to 5-bolt flange right there, but they laid it out a bit different. Opening's a little bit different size. So, and the material that makes up the plate is quite a bit thinner. So I think that helps to explain why we have these marks right here. Okay, everything's tightened in, and now you can see why they had to create a little bit of space back there by grinding some of that cover out, because it gets awfully close to that bolt hole where the main bolts tied the transmission into the rear end compartment. And even after they clearanced it, still was a little bit of contact going on. We're just going to leave that. That's part of being a prototype. So they probably just made an engineering note. This cover's too thick. Make the production one that much thinner and we'll be fine. So final piece of the day, the oil level plug. Thread that in. We're not putting any sealant on the threads because we're going to have that back out when we fill it. That establishes level for transmission and rear diff. And with that, we've got the gear compartment sealed up. Finally. All right, everybody, 2 weeks into it since we picked back up on this, and we finally have a transmission top cover on. That's the frustrating part of this tractor. You just work way too hard for way too little progress, but that's what it is. So next up is the Ampli-Torque assembly, and yes, it is every bit as bad as it looks, and it's probably going to look even worse once we get into it. Those are the main pieces that fill this compartment from here to here. I bet we're going to be more than 2 weeks working up there. So thank you for watching, everyone. We did get another stair step behind us by getting that transmission gear compartment sealed up. So progress is progress, even though it's tiny bits at a time. I hope to see you all back again.